Hey folks, it's Mike here from Murder Mile. I thought I'd introduce you to another location. This is for episode 158 of Murder Mile, titled The Blackout Ripper, First Blood, Part 2. This building right here is number 1 Gloucester Crescent, back of Regent's Park. Literally, we're not too far away. This is Camden over here. Right behind here is the train station, but it's also Regent's Park covers all of this. It's a very nice neighbourhood. Back in the 1940s, it was okay. It was kind of a bit middle class, but a bit low rent. This is number 1 Gloucester Crescent. The ground floor was owned by a 49-year-old widow called Edith Eleanora Humphries. She was living there by herself, she was alone. On this Friday, the 17th of October 1941, she invited a young gentleman, well actually we don't know whether he's young, back to her flat. Something that she did because she lived by herself. We don't know who he was, we don't have a description of him. But the next morning, around 6:30 in the morning, Edith was found. She was found on her bed, she'd been beaten about the head, she'd been strangled, and she'd been stabbed in the head. She was barely alive. She managed to make it to hospital. Unfortunately, she never regained consciousness, and she never was able to say who her attacker was. Now, the police thought that this was just a one-off, this was just a random attack. But 4 months later, there would be a series of attacks in the West End, in Soho and Paddington areas. These were later attributed to a leading aircraftman working out of Regent's Park just over there called Gordon Frederick Cummins, who would later go on to become known as the Blackout Ripper. Now, this case is still unsolved, but many of the police believe that this was one of the first attacks by the Blackout Ripper. If you want to know more, check out episode 158 of Murder Mile, titled The Blackout Ripper, First Blood, Part 2.